Pickle, let's go to the hotline, and let's bring in the six-man OG. It's the original gangsta. Doesn't mean old guy. He is from sixmanfootball.com. He's Dave Campbell's Texas Football six-man insider. We are joined by Granger Huntress. Granger, how you doing, my friend?
I'm great, Tep. And I am the old guy, too, so that's okay.
First and foremost, I know that you went out to a game on Thursday. I believe you were at Morgan, Penelope and Morgan. And if there ain't a more six-man football game in Texas than Penelope and Morgan. I'm interested. You've been around this game a long time. I think one of the big questions we've had for a lot of folks is what was the vibe around the game? What was the feeling around the game? When you were out there at that game on Thursday, what was the overall takeaway for you?
Yeah, it was strange. Being a 6 o'clock Thursday game, there weren't a whole lot of fans. I mean, people did show up. There were a lot of coaches from area schools that weren't playing that showed up. But everybody was excited. There was I don't know. There was a nervousness. I'll tell you what, the kids, seeing the kids and talking to the kids and the coaches, everybody there they were just glad to hit somebody. So is that a picture of Lehman?
Yeah, I think we've got the wrong. I think Pickle screwed that up. I'm looking. I told her, I was like, I have a photo of Granger. I can send it to you.
It's all right. You don't even. But I was pretty.
Shout out
funny.
Lehman Saunders.
Live.
Exactly. Live television. So yeah.
But it was an interesting game. I'll tell you what. Once the game started, though, I may have told you, or I'm writing this, that it felt like football. It's like the coaches and the fans and they're screaming and the players and everybody hit mid-season form with pretty 60 seconds in. It was everybody just went after it. So that was fun.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's kind of what we've heard from every level is that we're just happy to be out there, playing, and once you get going after the first series, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's football season. I do want to ask you, we were planning on talking to you today anyway, but I don't know if I was necessarily anticipating the absolute chaos that went on in the six-man ranks over the weekend. Is it fair to say that this was a relatively unexpected weekend of results in the 1A world?
Yeah. So let me just take you back. Hey, there's a magazine that I get called Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Weird.
Do you get it?
You know what?
So
yeah,
if you open up the Class 1A preview, there's this guy, Greg Tepper, and he wrote, his headline was, "In the wide open six-man world, expect the unexpected." So, that's kind of what happened. Now, did we expect all of the Division II teams to lose to all those Division I teams? No. But 7 of the top 10 losing, and was pretty crazy. So, it was a crazy first. I mean, that's just part of the craziness. But yes, the results were crazy.
One game I want to particularly spotlight, and I know that folks were having. I was just checking the magazine, and it is in there. You did read it right. But the one of the things that I was very interested in was the Rankin and Balmorhea game. This was the game that was between our number 1 teams in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Talking with when you're talking about Rankin being in Division I, Balmorhea being in Division II. Balmorhea leads for most of this game. Rankin ends up kind of rallying late to get a win. Is this one of those games that you come away, we're always trying to, and I know you're a big data guy as well, we're always trying to make sure that we're not overreacting to one data point. Is this one of those games that you come away saying like, all right, we feel like we still have a pretty good read on both of these teams?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of turnovers in this game. It was sloppy. It was a typical first game with 2 really good teams. I never take too much what happens in the first couple of weeks. It's kind of like when people tell me what happened in a scrimmage, and they're offended that I don't take that into consideration in any rankings. It's like, yeah, those are scripted plays. But this is more of, hey, we're just trying things out. We're not trying our full offense. We're not doing everything, but we're trying to win a game and see how our kids react. So no, I mean, you've got so many weeks to grow here, but I do think these are 2 of the best teams, if not the 2 best teams in each division still.
We're talking with Granger Huntress, our six-man football insider from sixmanfootball.com here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag TF Today. Then if we were talking about whose stock rose the most in week one, and again, under the giant caveat that it's just 1 week, there's a lot of time, and especially in the small school ranks, there's a lot of time to grow. Are there one or two teams out there that you came away from week one saying, man, maybe they got a little bit more than I thought they do?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it earlier when you were talking about Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
I really, that was a team that over the last couple of weeks, I've had a few messages from coaches around the state saying, even though it was scrimmages and it was other things, they said they're the real deal. They have 12 starters back. 12 Letterman back, only lost 2, but all their starters back on both sides of the ball. They are just going to be a lot better than we expected right off the bat. I think that's number one for me. There were so many other kind of crazy, first week games,
Mm-hmm.
but what solidified it for me was really, I'd say, how dominant the Division I teams were
Mm-hmm.
over the Division II teams. So they all kind of stood out. The next couple of weeks, teams like White Deer and Borden County and Rankin and Westbrook are all kind of playing each other. And so there are a lot of really good games where these teams are going to get tested, early and often. And so I think that, we'll be able to see a little bit more separation then. But to me, it was just the utter domination of Division I, which we don't usually see, right off the bat. Usually a couple of Division II teams, pull off, some wins. So, that to me, that's what stood out.
One of the teams that I think it was kind of a shock factor whenever we saw it was Klondike's win over McLean. I think McLean has become a bit of a brand name in the six-man ranks over the past couple of years. Winning the title in 2018, and then of course playing for a title last year, coming up just short to Blum. They get 45'd by Klondike in the opener. Is that cause for concern? Is this just a case of, look, McLean lost maybe the best six-man player in the state, and as a result, there's going to be some growing pains there?
Yeah, no, I think you kind of nail it there. So six-man is a lot more affected by losing, a star player. And when you've got to make some pretty serious changes like McLean's going to have to do this year, fill some spots. That's a lot. So, we'll see. It's a rebuilding year, and it takes time because a lot of those kids got playing time. They're younger, but they didn't get that much, and so they've got to rebuild that. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long season. Like I said, I give Klondike a lot of credit, and obviously they jump in the rankings this week, and deservedly. Need to be where they are in Division II, and they are a team to look at. But we'll see how it goes over the next couple of weeks if you can hold on to that.
Granger Huntress, six-man football insider, joining us here on Texas Football Today. One last question for you, Granger. I've said this on this show. I've said this on Fox. I've said that because of the delay for the big schools, 6A and 5A, I think this is an opportunity for everybody to expand their football horizons, especially if you're a fan of Plano East High School and they ain't even practicing yet, then you can get into the smaller school ranks. I'm going to give you the floor. Can you sell people to go out to a six-man game? Because I've tried. I've told people you just got to go out there and get it. Give people the elevator pitch for going out there and watching a six-man game.
Well, first of all, you're going out and you're seeing these towns really, you'll see everybody in the town. You get that great small town Texas experience. And you'll also see a lot of really good football and a lot of good hitting. There's, a lot of scoring at times, but there's a lot of hard hitting if you like football. So, I don't know if it needs a whole lot of selling, but, you do have the opportunity. Like I said, there are, and I think we'll have it on the site later this week, there are a lot of really good games in different areas of the state over the next couple of weeks that you can go to and see quality six-man teams play. So I hope everybody does. I know there are people that do that. There was a group of guys from Garland who I would run into once every year. It seemed like they would email me, and they would, whenever Garland had a week off, they went to a six-man game, and they would find the best game that was nearby, and they would drive to it. It's something that people do. So there are plenty of really good games around. We'll have a couple of them every week in the magazine. I mean, on the website, and so you can hopefully go from there.
He's Granger Huntress. He's the six-man OG. Follow him on Twitter at sixmanguru, and of course check out his fine work both at TexasFootball.com and at the venerable sixmanfootball.com. Granger, appreciate your time, my man, and I'm sorry for putting up a picture of Lehman Saunders in place of you, but look, we made you a lot younger.
Hey, well, Lehman will like that. He'll give me a hard time about it. But I do want to add one thing.
Yeah.
One thing that was really weird about this week, I looked it up because I was like, God, there weren't many games. There were only 73 six-man games this weekend that I have scores for. And the last week, week 1, 123.
That is interesting.
I mean, I get the TAPS not being in there,
Yeah.
but a lot of private schools didn't play this week, and a lot. We had so many cancellations in the public ranks, last week. So that was just shocking to me that number was so big.
That is surprising. I knew there were fewer. It felt like there were fewer, but I
right.
I don't know that it was. Geez,
I had to look it up. I wasn't sure.
30% fewer. Jeez, that's
50 fewer.
50.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Granger, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Take care. Have a good week.
There he goes. Granger Huntress, six-man guru, at six-man guru. His fine work at sixmanfootball.com. Yes, Lehman Saunders, another six-man football insider, a guy worth a follow at Lehman Saunders on Twitter. And I think you went searching for there was a story about Granger. And
his name was on it, and it was like six-man Granger Huntress, blah, blah, blah. And I was like...
And Lehman's a young man.
Right,
and Granger's not an old man. I want to be clear.
No, I've met Lehman before, and I looked at it, and I was like, man, all six-man reporter guys must all look very similar, Like, there's a very on-brand theme here. And then, it turns out it... Sorry, Granger.
We're good.
Sorry.
But anyway, Granger Huntress is our six-man insider.
They look a lot alike.
Find his fine work, textfootball.com and sixmanfootball.com. I think he hit the nail on the head. One of the things is that, I think people think about it, and we kind of describe it as basketball and turf, but anybody who watched six-man, and even those title games last year, even if that's the only time you've seen it,
Blum.
There are some of the hits that come out of those games.
They blow people up.
It is a violent game.
That was my first six-man experience last year, and it was awesome.
Yes. So
big fan.
Make sure you check out Granger Huntress' fine work at sixmanfootball.com and texasfootball.com.